As what is arguably the most iconic battle in the entire Star Wars prequel trilogy, LEGO has made a lot of sets based off of Geonosis. There are 37 to be a little bit more specific. Or maybe they've only made about 25. It depends on who you ask. You see, it's a little bit difficult to actually pin down precisely how many LEGO sets have been based off of Geonosis because, especially with prequel era sets, LEGO just kind of randomly gives them desert backgrounds for the box art. So, although there are a lot of sets that are quite obviously based off of Geonosis, there are also a lot of sets that are a little bit more ambiguous. So the rule I went with is, if it can be mistaken for a Geonosis set, then it is a Geonosis set for the purposes of this video. I am also not counting random poly bags and or foil bags. So, without further ado, let's get going. Back here at number 37, I have put the Technic Super Battle Droid. The Technic lineup of LEGO Star Wars is probably the single worst sub-theme that they have ever released. The Destroyer Droid was really the only one that didn't make you want to gouge your eyes out, so yeah, it just makes all the sense in the world to throw the Super Battle Droid as far back as possible. In the number 36 spot, I have the Jedi and Clones Battle Pack, and I actually feel bad putting this far back, because on its own, I think that this is actually a really, really good set. The minifigures are all very high quality figures, and I love that the build in this battle pack isn't just another ATRT, but ultimately the fact that this is the battle pack is what drags it so far down, because named Jedi in a battle pack is just such a bad idea. So, love the aesthetic. I think that the set looks really good. It just fails conceptually. What does not fail conceptually, however, is the Spider Droid Microfighter. Now, despite the fact that the Spider Droid is a droid and doesn't actually even have a pilot in universe, I still think that this is one of the better microfighters that they've ever made. It's just a vehicle that, for some reason, strangely lends itself very well to being in microfighter form. I can't exactly say the same thing about the all-terrain tactical enforcer, which might actually be why they have never made an ATTE microfighter, but the original ATTE from way back in the day doesn't look all that good either. This is one of the single ugliest LEGO Star Wars sets of all time. If you're somebody who has a lot of nostalgia for this, listen, I get it. Nostalgia makes the heart grow fond or whatever, but take off the rose-tinted glasses. This is objectively atrocious. It's obviously just fine conceptually, which is why it gets a leg up on the 2018 Clones and Jedi Battle Pack, but holy crap did this age like crap. Another set that didn't age so hot is the original Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter. This one aged a lot better than the ATTE did, that is undeniable, but just because it aged better doesn't mean that it still didn't age poorly. There are some weird color combinations on this. I mean, the dark red and the light red is kind of off-putting. I mean, it has a certain charm to it, yes, but charm doesn't always make it the best. I will say, however, that I did not realize this thing had both front and back landing gear until I started making this video. That is actually really cool. It's got to get some bonus points there. Now, up next, this is our first case of generic box art on this list. This is, of course, the Assassin's Droid Battle Pack right here. Probably the coolest thing about it is that it actually came with 5 minifigures instead of just 4, so that's nice and all, but overall it's just a weird concept for a battle pack. Like, it's still a much better concept than a Kiadi Mundi battle pack, but it's just kind of a strange one nonetheless. And again, there's also a chance that it isn't even supposed to be based off of Geonosis. One that is definitely based off of Geonosis, though, is the Republic Gunship Microfighter. Now, the longer I stare at this one, the more I realize they captured a surprising amount of detail on this one. I mean, you've got the bubble turrets on the side and also on the wings. Like, I don't know, I guess it's not that hard to capture it, but if I was building a microfighter gunship, the bubble cannons probably wouldn't even cross my mind. I think that this was a fantastic microfighter. I would love to see another rendition of a Republic gunship microfighter modern day. Another set that I would like to see brought back, at least conceptually, are the minifigure packs. Now, this one, it's, supposed to be a battle pack. It wasn't really a battle pack with the commander in there, but, I mean, it's at least a lot more justifiable to build up yellow clones as opposed to Kiadi Mundis, so this definitely doesn't get as many points taken off there because, army building a commander is weird, but at least it isn't a named Jedi. I would also love to see droidicas come in another battle pack one of these days, but not until they just suck it up and make an actual droidica mold. I mean, they need to make just a straight up mold for the droidicas so bad, and I would love to see them come in a battle pack, but only if they actually look halfway decent, and that's not going to happen until they get a mold. But the concept, I love the concept of droidicas in a battle pack. I think that's really great, and that's one of the reasons why I think that this is honestly one of the most underrated battle packs. It gets a lot of hate, and I don't think it deserves as much hate as it gets. A set that probably deserves a little bit more hate than it gets is the most recent rendition of the Republic Saber Tank. This thing is just so ugly. I mean, they did the Republic Fighter Tank dirty. Like, it's a really cool looking ship in universe. It is not a really cool looking ship in this Lego set. The minifigures are fantastic. I mean, there should have been a waist cape on the airborne clone trooper, but I love getting unique clone variants, and the purple clones were so awesome. The last clones to come without helmet holes, aside from like Hunter in the Justifier that came out later that year. But yeah, minifigures, fantastic. That Mace Windu is the best Mace Windu they've ever made, but that fighter tank just drags everything about the set down so far. The original Yoda versus Count Dooku set is actually a phenomenal set in my opinion, at least as far as 2002-2003 goes. Now, even though I wasn't born until after this set released, I might still have a little bit of nostalgia blindness towards the set just because it does make an appearance in Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, and anything from The Complete Saga is a friend of mine. Now, the Geonosis canon from 2012, on the other hand, I actually do have quite a bit of legitimate nostalgia for. I remember seeing the set in the back of the 2012 X-Wing instruction manual and just thinking, man, that looks pretty cool. At that point in my life, I actually hadn't seen Star Wars The Clone Wars yet. I'm honestly not even sure that I had seen Attack of the Clones yet when this set released, but I mean, I saw it in the back of an instruction manual, and as somebody who didn't know what it was still enough for me to look at and be like, whoa, that's really cool. This is definitely a set that I would love to own one of these days. In that same vein, the 2015 Hailfire droid is one that I would love to own someday. This was the last time that we saw super battle droids until 2023, and the Hailfire droid itself just looks really good. Using spring-loaded shooters on the missile racks wasn't the best choice aesthetically for sure, but I imagine that that's fairly easy to modify. And just with how clean everything else looks, I think that this is probably the best play-scale Hailfire droid that they made. The original Geonosian Starfighter is a set that I think actually aged pretty well. Like, all things considered, it actually still looks pretty good modern day. Like, it wouldn't fit very well into a modern LEGO Star Wars lineup, partially because this one actually includes printed pieces as opposed to stickers, and because the side build Geonosian cannon is actually a fairly substantial side build. But I think that the Geonosian Starfighter itself is one of the few sets that you can look at from 2003 and say, yeah, that still looks good. The original OG-9 homing spider droid is not one of those sets, but it was their first attempt at a spider droid, and so you kind of have to give them some leniency for that. But there are some things that this original spider droid I think does a lot better than some of the newer renditions of the spider droid. Like, if you look at the homing spider droid in universe, yeah, it does have 3 red eyes, but I think that the singular red eye here is the far superior route to go down as opposed to the 3 red eyes on the 2013 and 2016 models. That's just my personal preference though. Let me know which you think is superior in the comments. Now, coming in at number 22 is the Hailfire droid from 2008. Now, I know that I just got through saying that the 2015 one is the best designed Hailfire droid they've ever done, and that is true, but this one is the better overall set in my opinion. I mean, it comes with more minifigures, and it also has a spider droid side build, which, you know, there's just more playability, and this one doesn't look that much worse than the 2015 one, that the aesthetics significantly outweigh the additional play value. Now, coming in here at number 21 is the original Jango Fett's Slave 1, and this is one that you could maybe make a case that it shouldn't be considered a Geonosis set, but I mean, Geonosis isn't on the box art here. Now, that doesn't mean all that much since Geonosis is also on the box art of the newest Jango Fett's Slave one, but that one at the very least includes a Kaminoan, so like, I don't know, that one's just in a weird situation where it's kind of a Geonosis set, kind of not, and I mean, to be fair, that's with a lot of sets on this list, but I don't know. I'd say that the 2025 one isn't a Geonosis set, and the 2002 one is in enough of a gray area that it would feel weird to not put it on this list, and so I put it on the list, and I feel like it belongs here at number 21. Now, finally cracking the top 20, we've got the Bomb Squad Trooper Battle Pack. This is one of only 2 retail sets that actually ever included an ARF Trooper, so that's pretty cool. The Bomb Squad clones are absolutely gorgeous looking, but again, they're kind of an odd choice for a battle pack, but overall this is still a solid battle pack. Another very solid set is the 2011 Geonosian Starfighter. Since this one was not a battle pack, it actually makes sense for it to include Ki-Adi-Mundi, and it also includes a Commander Cody. It's obviously a smaller, simpler build, but it's still a solid build nonetheless. Now here at number 18, I've got the MIDI-scale Acclimator, and this is another one that's maybe is a Geonosis set, maybe isn't a Geonosis set, but again, the rule is if it can be easily mistaken for being a Geonosis set, then it makes it on the list, and since the Acclimator is pretty closely tied to Geonosis, I figure this one makes it on the list. But yeah, this MIDI-scale Acclimator is one of the best MIDI-scale sets that they've made, which is really saying a lot because LEGO has released some incredible MIDI-scale sets these past couple of years. I'm so glad that they brought that line back. But yeah, this one is near the top of the list in terms of MIDI-scale sets for me. I just think that they did such a fantastic job on this. Now, up next, we've got the original Republic gunship from 2002. This one is most famous for including that Jedi Bob minifigure, as well as being one of the most interesting play sets that LEGO has ever released. First of all, though, this gunship has aged really well. Like, most sets from 2002 do not look aesthetically pleasing at all when you compare them to modern day sets. But this one, I mean, you can tell that it's an older set, but it doesn't look bad. And then just the fact that this entire vehicle opens up into a command station is just like the most insane thing to me. It will never stop being the most insane play feature that LEGO has baked into one of their Star Wars sets. And I absolutely mean that in a good way. I wish that they would try something a little bit out of the box like this, again, modern day. Like, the types of play features that they used to put into sets were just cooler back then. And speaking of play features being cooler back then, next up I have the original Republic fighter tank from 2008. People often point to the size of this set being one of its highlights, but frankly for me, I don't care that it's bigger than all the other fighter tanks. I just think that the play features that they were able to get into this are really cool, and granted, part of that probably is because of its size. But they just aren't as creative with the play features anymore, and that just makes me sad. You know, they tack on a stud shooter and they call it good, and they don't have to put anything that's actually cool into the sets anymore, and it's just sad. Now, here at number 15, I have the 2017 Republic fighter tank. And yes, I am fully aware of the irony of me putting this ahead of the 2008 one after I just went on a whole rant about stud shooters being lazy. I know that me putting this one above the 2008 one feels like I'm contradicting myself, but I really don't think I am. I praise the 2008 one for its play features. I praise this one for its aesthetics. This is absolutely the best looking fighter tank that the LEGO Group has produced. It is so sleek, so clean, everything on this model comes together so perfectly. Now, that's not to say that this doesn't have lackluster play features. It does. The play features on this are rather lackluster. But I don't see how me saying this one looks really good and therefore is a good set, and me saying this one has really good play features and therefore is a good set are at odds with each other. Like, it's not like you can have only one or the other. You can have a good looking play set that has really cool play features. And I know I kind of rambled a little bit there. I just felt compelled to preemptively defend myself because I can already hear the comments coming in. Now, up next, I have the Clone Walker Battle Pack, and there is a reason why this is one of the most legendary battle packs of all time. Now, I did not actually own a Clone Wars era LEGO Star Wars set until 2012. By the time I got into it, this animated clone style was starting on its way out, so I didn't grow up with this style at all. I personally don't like this OG style. I think it's kind of ugly, but just on a conceptual level, this is everything you could ever want in a clone battle pack. 3 normal clones with the ability to turn one into a commander and a clone gunner. Just the fact that they put a clone gunner into a battle pack is so awesome to me. I want them to do it again. I want them to do it again so bad. I mean, the gunners is really probably the best way to fill out a lot of your Republic vehicles. You got them manning the cannons, you got them manning the cockpits if you don't have pilots. They need to make another battle pack appearance. Now, speaking of battle packs, here at number 13, I have the Elite Clone Trooper and Commando Droid battle pack. Now, if my memory serves correctly, this is actually the first LEGO Star Wars set that I ever bought with my own money. I think either I just really wanted a cannon or I got it for the Commando Droids because at that point the Rookies episode of Clone Wars was one of my favorite Star Wars The Clone Wars episodes. And I mean, it still is. But obviously the highlight is that Clone ARC Trooper, which is just very, very highly regarded throughout the entire LEGO Star Wars community. Easily the best Clone Trooper minifigure that they had made up to that point in time. Up here at number 12, I have Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter. Now, the actual Starfighter itself, yeah, solid set, solid build, looks nice enough, but to me, the highlight is the tactical droid with that speeder bike. I've always loved that speeder design, and LEGO just needs to make another tactical droid so bad. But I mean, just the fact that this set comes with so many different things, has a very good play value, it belongs up here near the top. Also here near the top is the Battle for Geonosis set, and apologies for the blurry picture, I don't know what happened there, but anyways, I guess I will just go ahead and move on to the next picture, which hopefully isn't as blurry. Part of the reason why I put this set up so high is just because I think that the J1 proton cannon from the set actually aged pretty well. It is a little bit rudimentary compared to what a modern day rendition of this would probably look like, but it doesn't fall flat on its face when you put its aesthetics under scrutiny. Now, finally cracking the top 10, we have the Corporate Alliance tank droid from 2013. The Persuader class tank droid didn't ever actually make an on-screen appearance at Geonosis, but the LEGO group still turned one into a Geonosis set, and I am here for it. It was a simple build, it was a small build, but by golly, it got the job done. That Jango Fett minifigure is beautiful. We got a clone trooper, Geonosis battle droid, just all around a really good set. At number 9, I have the Duel on Geonosis set from the same year. This is one of my dream sets. I really want to own this thing one day. It was the last time we ever got Count Dooku. It was the first and last time we ever saw Poggle the Lesser, and as far as I'm aware, also the first and last time we ever saw that specific pilot droid. But just in looking at it, I legitimately struggle to find anything negative to say about this set. On to number 8, we have the 2013 homing spider droid. This is easily the best homing spider droid they have ever done. It's not even close. The minifigure selection is just absolutely incredible. That dwarf spider droid aged fantastic, in my opinion. They probably should have used some friction pins as opposed to the frictionless pins in the legs of the OG9, but I have to admit, I see that as a fairly minor issue. Here at number 7, we have the Geonosis Troopers Battle Pack. Aside from the big stud shooter, the AT-RT is a pretty solid AT-RT, but the highlight is obviously the minifigures. I mean, talk about a great clone trooper lineup. This is like a 9.8 out of 10 battle pack. Number 6, we have the 2013 ATTE. Also notice the clone commander that doubles as a pilot up there. This was the best ATTE that the LEGO group had ever made for a very long time. It held that record for about 9 years. And it honestly is still a very solid looking ATTE. It's aged very well, and it just has an incredible minifigure lineup. That Coleman Trevor is such a good looking minifigure. I love that specialized head mold that they made for him, and I would love to see him brought back one day. Of course, Mace Windu is a highlight. The Clone Commander looks very good. And you have an exclusive Geonosian Battle Droid Commander, which also looks quite nice. Here at number 5, I have the UCS Jedi Starfighter, and maybe I should have put this one a little bit lower, but I think that this is another set that has aged very well. It might not be as large as other UCS sets that LEGO has made, but it has every bit as much detail. Maybe part of why I like this one so much is just because I've always been a bit of a sucker for the engines on Star Wars vehicles, and when LEGO does a good job on engines, they do a really good job. I mean, this entire backside is just so sleek and so clean. I absolutely love it. Now, here at number 4, I have the dropship with AT-OT, and I know I didn't put it at number 1, how dare I? I just don't think it's a number 1 type of set. It's obviously a very good set. I mean, if I didn't think that it was a good set, I wouldn't have put it at number 4. I just don't think it's aged all that well. I mean, really the only reason why it's so hyped up by the community is because it's the only dropship that LEGO has ever made, but this is a rather unattractive LEGO model. I'm just trying to be straight with you. Again, good set. I just don't think it deserves as much hype as it gets. If you want to see a dropship model that does deserve hype and a lot more hype than it gets, go and check out Forged in Lego's dropship model. You will not be disappointed. I actually built it recently, and while it wasn't the most fun building process, the finished model was absolutely worth it. Now, here we go into the top 3. This is probably a weird placement to a lot of you guys, and it's kind of a weird placement for me too, but I don't know, man. There's just something about this Technic Hailfire droid that speaks to me. I legitimately don't know what it is. I mean, it doesn't even look that polished, but there's just something about this one that I absolutely love. I think that this is such a cool set. Maybe it's just because it's not really a set that you would expect them to make. I know that when I first found out this thing existed, I was pretty surprised. It's a little bit more out of the box, a little bit less predictable, and I don't know, I like that, I guess. But comment down below, did you know that this set even existed before watching this video? Because it's not one that I ever see talked about, and I think it deserves to be talked about more. Now, one set that does get talked about a lot is the UCS gunship. And I know there was a whole bunch of controversy surrounding the set when it first came out. I mean, the clone pilot joke is still made constantly in comment sections, and even referenced earlier in this video. But minifigure and original trilogy controversies aside, this is a beautiful UCS model. And even considering the controversies and the hot water that this UCS gunship has found itself in over the years, I cannot stop myself from putting this at the number 2 spot, because I think that this is just an absolutely fantastic UCS set, and I want to own it one day. A gunship that I am fortunate enough to own, however, is the 2013 Republic gunship. If you think that this gunship is too overhyped or too nostalgia goggled by the community, you have clearly never owned this set. I mean, this is what peak LEGO Star Wars looks like. In case you were wondering, now you know. I mean, this is the kind of LEGO Star Wars set that creates its very own tier above S tier. This was my very favorite set for a long time growing up, and it is still one of my all-time favorite LEGO Star Wars sets ever, and I think that that is true for most anybody who owned this set back in the day. I mean, you don't have to look very far at all to find a LEGO Star Wars fan who adores this thing, and that really says something about the quality of this set, that it is so universally beloved, both by people with nostalgia glasses and by people without nostalgia glasses. That really tells you something. This is absolutely a very well-deserved number 1 spot. And well, that concludes my ranking of every Geonosis set that LEGO has made to date. I know I've probably had some pretty hot takes in this video, so feel free to call me a moron down in the comments below. Or if you somehow for some reason agreed with me, then you can also comment that too. But I won't hold my breath.